Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. The situation is extremely serious on Israel's side. Iran has no more limits. Iran has just seriously struck one of the lungs of the Israeli economy. Iran is no longer joking around. They say they are going to carry out a preemptive strike against Iran. Iran, too, is doing nothing but bombing. Israel's largest oil refinery has just been heavily hit. Yes, and I strongly fear that this refinery may have gone to its eternal rest for good. We also have Israel's largest coal-fired power plant, which was directly hit severely and significantly hit by Iranian strikes. Yes, the mayor of Haifa, so overwhelmed, finally broke his silence. He made a confession of failure. No, it's unbelievable what's happening right now. Ladies and gentlemen, in this video conference, this is the news we're going to discuss. But before we continue, I ask you to share this video conference as widely as possible. Share it as much as you can. Take the action that motivates. All right? And don't forget to always leave your opinions in the comments. Subscribe to this channel, Les Samouraï. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and activate the notification bell. The situation is serious. They underestimated Iran's strength. Iran is now showing what the country is capable of. According to official information, after the Iranian strikes on Haifa, it must be said that Iran really did strike Haifa. Iran hit Haifa so hard that one might even wonder what this city did to Iran. So, following these numerous and impactful strikes that commenced yesterday evening, Israel is now confronting an unprecedented and severe fuel crisis. This significant development is precisely what the independent information analysis platform, Geoenergetica Info, has comprehensively reported. Fuel crisis in Israel. Because the refinery was hit, will this be limited simply to a fuel crisis? This is the big question we're asking ourselves. Will it just be a fuel crisis? Or could it even become a full-blown economic crisis that will hit the country? Because the Haifa refinery is the largest refinery, and we know its importance, its weight on the Israeli economy. They underestimated Iran. Iran is still thousands of kilometers away. Iran launches, and it hits the target with precision. I'm telling you, things are so out of hand that the mayor of Haifa broke his silence. The words he used are pitiful. Listen to this. It's the mayor of Haifa speaking. He says, I'm deeply depressed. 2 strategic sites were hit by Iranian missiles. Yes, he admits that he is deeply depressed. They're pretending as if the conflict, the Iranian strikes, don't concern them at all. But the mayor of Haifa, faced with the seriousness of the situation, he really doesn't care about keeping up appearances. How is he going to move his city forward? The strategic sites that helped him keep his city running properly have been damaged. How is he going to keep his city running? Share the video. So he's dropped the discomfort from his face, the shame. He outright admitted it. There you have it. So several images of this destruction are being broadcast. But let's dig deeper. Let's try to see concretely what exactly is this about. It must be said that Iran is targeting strategic infrastructures, extremely strategic infrastructures. You know, Iran has the map of Tel Aviv, Haifa, Jerusalem, the biggest Israeli cities. They have their 3D map that they can zoom in on like this to see every nook and cranny. They know all the locations. But if it was spies who did the work for them, they did a good job. So they just stay there. They say, well, it's in this area. They input the geographic coordinates into the brain, into the missile's artificial intelligence. And then they command the missile. We order you, go do the dirty work. They press the button It rises into the sky. While it's rising, they're filming. It goes, it reaches its objective, it hits its target. Yes, even in the ongoing and significant conflict between Russia and Ukraine, we have very rarely seen such an impressive and overwhelming display of sheer strength and immense power. So, what can we say? The Iranian strikes indeed targeted the city of Haifa, specifically hitting major energy sites. Among these facilities are Israel's largest oil refinery, operated by the Bazan Group, as well as the power plant. These attacks led to the shutdown of the refinery facilities, highlighting the vulnerability of the country's key infrastructure. Yes, these Iranian strikes have shown that the country's key infrastructure is vulnerable. So now Iran is reassured that at any moment they can destroy whatever they want on the Israeli side, anything they want. But don't you see that Israel has suffered much more damage? There is a technology center in Iran that was hit this morning. But when we compare it to Israel's side, the hospital was hit. The technology center, that laboratory, which has been conducting research for decades, was hit. What else? The cyber command was hit. The intelligence center was hit. But what is actually happening in the end? So with these strikes on Haifa, the consequences, there are consequences for fuel and electricity supply. And so the impact on the Haifa refinery, which is the key energy hub, raises fears of a potential fuel crisis and supply disruptions. It has already started. So we are facing a very difficult situation. We are facing an escalation of the conflict, a real escalation, since these strikes mark a significant escalation in the conflict and demonstrate Iran's ability to reach strategic targets inside Israeli territory. Iran has shown its capability. Iran is capable. Yes. Well, unfortunately, Israel is unable to understand. The Israeli chief of staff came out yesterday to tell Israelis to prepare for a long period, that the conflict will last for a long time yet. As the days go by, Iran may end up destroying many things. Iran could set Israel back by several years. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that was the top story in the news. Please share it as much as possible. I'll be back with more news shortly. This was the voice of your one and only samurai.